So I'm having a chat with Max from Yumi 6. How are you?
Yeah, good, buddy. How are you doing today?
Yeah, not too bad. Thanks very much. First things first, there's a brand new album out of yours coming out next week. What can people expect from the release?
Yeah, so Sucker Punch, coming out on the 15th of January. It's been a record that's been long in the making, to be honest with you, considering everything that's gone on in the world. What people can know about this record is really, for us as a band, we've been a little bit more experimental in terms of our music and bringing in influences and mashing different genres together from the worlds of, electronic music to hip-hop and trap music to R&B pop kind of music, but also retaining our rock roots as well. And I think it's, for us, we take all these influences from music that we love and go, right, well, we're a band that plays instruments, and how do we mash these all together, And I think a song like What's It Like, which was the first song that was the first song that we recorded for the record, back in 2018, just after we released our last record, 6, was a benchmark song for this band, because what started out as a bit of a jokes idea that Dan created turned into a song that we went, well, it sounds like a trap song, but we all really love it. How can we then translate this into our instruments, and how do we play this as 5 people in a live show? So, it was just like having fun. I think that's the most important thing, is you can be inspired by lots of different types of music in life and take influence from there, but we've made it our own as well, and we've kind of gone in, made our own samples, playing guitar parts and making it sound like samples you can get from Splice or old sample packs online, and just generally having fun and working really well with our producer Dan Austin, who this is the second record we've made with him now. And when you make a record with somebody for the first time, it's always understanding what they're about and understanding how they work. And going into this record with Sucker Punch, that we knew we wanted to take it up another level and push ourselves in terms of how we perform tracks and how we create music. So there's a lot of late nights spent in the studio creating these sounds and getting in terms of analog synths, but also using VSTs as well, and lots of using the world of digital that we've got so in front of us right now. And I'm in my studio setup right now, and I've got lots of options here, but I'm also looking at going, well, I've got my digital setup here, but I've also got my analog pedal board here that I'm rerouting through all my computer's VSTs. So trying to be a bit more unique in terms of how we create stuff. But it's an exciting record, from start to finish, and it's a journey that I think, it's a rebellious record that's got a lot of anger and pain through it, but also the end of the day and the end of the message is there is redemption, there is light at the end of the tunnel, and however you look at that. So I think that's how we've taken our music, in terms of, if we're writing an angry song, from Nice to Me to Make Me Feel Alive, to other sentiments of songs like Glasgow and Sucker Punch, the song, it's the title track itself.
Yeah, definitely. And it's starting off the career with the releases. It was very pop rocky-esque, and then it got slightly heavier as we progressed through. And then obviously Sucker Punch now is a big turn and a big twist, and quite surprising compared to your previous releases. Was it always going to be that as a plan, or is it just how it's panned out?
Like I said, we take so many influences from all the different genres of music we listen to as a band, So when you talk about the earlier records, we're emulating our favorite artists at that time. And, when we were writing our first record, Take Off Your Colors, I was 15, So I was emulating artists like Jimmy Eat World and Paramore and Fall Out Boy that, kind of like lasted and went into the second record, Hold Me Down. And then we got a little bit more experimental with Sinners, which is quite a diverse record, and I think it's a fan favorite from like our fan side of things. And that, when you look at that record, there is a lot of variation from songs like Bite My Tongue that are heavy rock songs with screaming on it, with Ollie from Bring Me the Horizon. And then you've got songs like No One Does It Better and Reckless on the same record, that are, Reckless is definitely a little bit more alternative pop lenient way, and then No One Does It Better is a bit more of a slow Red Hot Chili Peppers banger. So for us, it's always been finding ways to merge music that we love and have been inspired by for our career and put it into our own terms. And I think now, after having a career making music for nearly 15 years now, and being in this band for nearly that amount of time as well, I think we've learned so many more skills, and you know, we've learned how to be a bit more adventurous and take risks and not sit there and go, well, we can do this, but we'll do this 50% of the way, and we're trying to still be us, where the best music that we've created is actually having the freedom and not sitting there questioning, can we do this or can we do that? And I think this record, Sucker Punch, has been a record that we've learned that we can be creative and exciting by not having any restrictions and seeing where it takes us.
Yeah, absolutely. And this year's been, 2020, in fact, has been a strange year. How has lockdown and coronavirus impacted on this record?
To be honest, it's quite a big impact, to be honest with you, because once we finished recording this record, which we did it in Thailand, and that was about 5-6 weeks at the back end of 2019. We're there, middle of October to the end of November, came back and had the 2019 Christmas. So like, right, yeah, game on. We started getting the record mix at the start of the year, and we had touring plans starting from the summer festival season. And we were going to be releasing the record in September. You know, the first music was going to be coming out in May last year. And when the pandemic hit, you know, we were all, you know, we're trying to galvanize and rally ourselves up. And we thought, let's just put something out. But then, you know, after a couple of weeks went by, we sat there and thought, well, we don't know how long this is going to last for, and yes, we really want to put out music, you know, but is that going to damage us and what we've created as well? We're just going to rush putting a record out that we've spent, you know, a good year making, you know, just to get it out there, which I think, you know, I would have loved to put it out, but we've also got to sit there and be realistic as well about what the right decision for us as a band was. So, you know, it was definitely heartbreaking to see that all go through, and we went through of different waves of emotion in terms of their mental and physical health. And, you know, I think for us, it gave us a moment just to kind of take a step back for the first time in our life after 15 years of, you know, you go and tour a record, then you go and make a record, then it's not a vicious cycle, but it's a cycle that just keeps going around, and you can kind of get caught in it, where for the first time in our lives, we had a moment to kind of stop and reflect, and, you know, gave us more time to work on the artwork, gave us more time to visually create what we wanted this album to represent to our fans, from the visuals, the music videos. And, you know, sometimes that thing can get lost when you're just in the same cycle and over again. So, you know, I always take the negative and turn it into a positive, which is it gave us more time to live with this record and understand, you know, when you've made a record, but you're very emotionally attached to it, that we had time to kind of break away from that, you know. So that kind of gave us a little bit more of a vision for what we want this record to say and look like in terms of when we released it. And, you know, we took the conscious decision to push the record back and release it, you know, on the 15th of January and start releasing music in summer last year. You know, we felt like after a few months of going through the lockdown, we're like, right, let's bring back something heavy and aggressive that really sums up how everybody's feeling. And that was the decision to release Make Me Feel Alive first. And then, you know, September came and we released Beautiful Way and the announcement of the pre-order of the album. And, you know, all I can say is I think music's made a lot of people really get through this difficult time. And from what I've seen from our reaction to the songs we released, it's definitely helped people out. So as an artist, as a musician, as a creative, that is, you know, that makes me happy. If it's one person or 100,000 people, if your music does something for somebody and help them out, then you've kind of achieved what you set out to do originally in the first place. And I can say that's what this record's all about. You know, it helped me through a difficult time in my life and kept me focused and engaged, and was my, you know, it was my meditation, it was my yoga, however people want to look at it as. It was my escape making this record, and I know for some of the other guys as well, it was. So, you know, it's been a difficult time, but like I said, always turn the negative into a positive, and grateful now that we're releasing this record and having the feedback we've got, and there's a lot more music people haven't heard that I hope they also enjoy as much as they've heard from us so far.
Yeah, absolutely. And touching on touring, you've sadly had to postpone your date in Kingston next week, but at the moment you've still got dates booked in for May and July.
Yeah, we've got them still penciled in. We're sitting there, you know, hoping that everything with the vaccine stuff, that the rollout with everything's going on, that we are possible to do that, you know. Yeah. You know, I think that's all we can be right now, is being like, look, we really hope we can do this, you know, to take away live music from artists, you know, it's been our bread and butter for a long. It's the main thing we do as a band. That's why we started this, to get in a room and practice and play in front of people, because that's us. You know, that's where we are most known for in a live scale. You know. And it's really difficult to kind of take that away from people, and it makes you evaluate, you know, what is your life worth, you know, without doing what you do on a day-to-day basis and, you know, or a yearly basis, like, who are you as a human being? So it's definitely been interesting, but we're sitting here hopeful that we can still do those shows and still got stuff in the pipeline to happen.
Yeah. Speaking of those potential things in the pipeline, it's obviously festival season as well. They're still going ahead at the moment. Are you hoping to be on some festival bills?
Yeah, like, to be honest with you, like, most of the festivals that we had booked for 2020 have been re-overed and put to this year of 2021. So we're hoping we're doing those. And then, you know, stuff at the back end of the year as well. We just got to sit and hope with everything that's going on with the vaccine rollout right now that we can have somewhat of a normality come back. You know, I'm not going to say it's going to be exactly the same as it was before, but I think if anybody is, like, who loves live shows like myself, if you can get out there by May, June time and start seeing shows again, that I think people would just be happy to have that after it's been taken away from such a long time.
Yeah, most definitely. Well, Max, it's been great having a catch-up with you.
Yeah, thank you, Jim. It's always a pleasure chatting to you, dude. And hope you guys enjoyed the new record. And if you haven't, go and pre-order it, you know. And if you like hot sauce, there's a hot sauce pre-order as well. So if you like spicy food, go and get it.
Fantastic. Cheers, Max.
Awesome. Thanks, Jim. Pleasure.